The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Burkeen. Brought to you by Medines Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medines. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Burkeen.
Hi everyone, I'm Lee Burkeen, host of the Sports Scouting Report podcast. Hope everybody's having a great week. Easter, man, it's hard to recover from Easter, all that food, all the desserts and everything, and hope everybody had a great Easter weekend. But we've got a great show today. Derrick Jones joins us. He's the head basketball coach at Catholic High Baton Rouge, state champions in 2022. Their first state championship in the history of the school. That's right, the first state championship in basketball. They've had a few in football and baseball, but first in basketball. We're going to talk to Derrick about his team, the history of the school. I'm also going to talk about history of basketball in Baton Rouge. We need to promote it a little bit more. There's a lot of talent that's come out of Baton Rouge the last 50, 60 years. If you go back to Bob Pettit, Willis Reed, all across the state, and people like, remember Benoit Benjamin that came out of Monroe Carroll High School. Robert Parrish came out of Woodlawn in Shreveport. Remember Robert Parrish with the Boston Celtics? He's from Louisiana. We'll be right back with more with Coach Derrick Jones.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, host of the Sports Scouting Report podcast. Again, I hope everybody had a great Easter. We're at the Julio's Italian Brothers Restaurant on Perkins Road, about, a rock throw from Catholic High on Acadian, and we're not far from LSU. They have great homemade food. I love their pasta. Chicken Parmesan, I think a couple of our interns love that. I love the homemade garlic bread, homemade salads, and the meatballs weigh almost 4 pounds. You might want to go on a diet after you leave here, but it's great food. Mike Johnson, thank you for allowing us to film at your restaurant. Our guest today, to introduce our guest, Catholic High has got great history in football, baseball, all sports. Actually, they're even getting history right now in lacrosse, which is a new sport to Louisiana the last 15 years. But basketball, they've had some really good teams, but they won their first state championship in the history of the school in basketball in 2022. And we have their head coach joining us, who's an alum of Catholic High School, Coach Derrick Jones. Derrick, thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
I enjoyed talking basketball with you before the show. We need to promote more basketball in Louisiana. Me and you were talking about it, but congrats on your state championship.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Basketball here has been really good in recent years, and I agree with you. Anything that shines a light on Baton Rouge basketball, I'm all for it.
Alum of 96.
96.
I was talking to you. Every time you turn around, it seems like we lose someone. I lost my mom a month ago, Dolores Thompson. We lost Kevin Franklin not long ago, who's an alum of Catholic. And I want to mention Tim Joyner. Recently passed, who was a football player at LSU, was a great linebacker coach in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
I want to, my condolences to Tim Joyner's family. 6'4", 230-pound linebacker in 82, 83. Wow. Catholic High alum. Coach, tell everybody about how hard it is to win a state championship in basketball. We know football's hard, but there's a lot of talent out there in basketball.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I've been fortunate and blessed to be a part of 3 now since coming back to Baton Rouge and beginning to coach high school basketball. But every year it's, you look back on the journey, the playoff journey, and a bounce of the ball here, a bad decision here or there, rewatching some of those games, the result of the game could go in a different direction. So it's hard to do. Like I said, I've been blessed and fortunate to be a part of a few of them now. But this year we had some games there, especially in that state championship game where one decision or one bounce of the ball, one different call here or there could have changed the outcome of the game, no doubt.
I want to brag about Coach because, look, I watch basketball. I have a football show. We're doing basketball with this show and baseball too, but I grew up playing basketball. Wasn't very tall, but I was a guy in the neighborhood that would guard you. Mm-hmm. And because I wasn't tall, people hated me on defense. Yeah. And I could shoot the ball and I could drive and I wasn't scared. But your starting lineup, you didn't have anybody over 6'2". Mm-hmm. I think this year you're going to have a couple of 6'3" guys, yeah. Your son being one of them. But in class 5A, and I know a little bit about basketball, you always play a team that has a 6'7", 6'6", a couple of 6'5s. Yeah. I mean, you're facing this every week.
Yeah. We got complimented a lot by opposing coaches on how tough we played, how hard and how physical we played, even though we were undersized. And, credit to our strength coach, Coach Matt Bruce. We got one of the best strength coaches, not only in Louisiana, but in the country. And he's done a great job with our guys' body, with their mindset. And even though we're undersized at times, like you said, nothing can replace heart and toughness and our ability to kind of fight for loose balls and rebounds. And that's one of the things that it gave us a chance against some of those bigger teams.
Derrick Jones, the head coach of Catholic High Baton Rouge basketball team, 2 state championships with Port Allen. Coach, when you went to Port Allen prior to Catholic High, I mean, tell everybody how the building phase of that. I mean, again, 2 state titles in Class 2A, still not easy.
Yeah. Well, Port Allen, I grew up in Irwinville, Louisiana, so it's a little small town not far from Port Allen. Had I not going to Catholic High, that would have been my school. I would have gone to Port Allen. A lot of my cousins, my dad went there, so I was familiar with the area. Okay. And I knew that there was basketball talent there. It just had to be kind of cultivated. And another thing you really had to fight was a lot of the better players that grow up on that side of the river end up coming on this side of the river to go to high school. So, we Port Allen won, I think, 8 games the year before we got there, and we were able to turn it pretty quickly. Just kind of the same thing, just like really, really working and developing skill level and getting those guys in the gym and kind of teaching them the game. And year 2, we lost in the state championship game to Rayville. Year 3, we were able to beat Rayville. And year 4, we were able to beat Rayville again. Rayville had kind of that clamps on 2A. It had been winning for a while. So it was a fun experience. It was definitely a learning experience for me. Yeah. I was my first time being a head coach, so I had to learn how to delegate, how to run the whole program. And when things didn't go right, I got all the blame. Right. So it was a fun experience.
Good training ground for
no question.
Going to Catholic High. And then look, I remember Rayville was a good coach.
Yeah.
Their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Was their point guard, 2 guard. He had 30 a game.
Yeah.
All state 4 years in a row.
Wow.
That one guy you remember.
I can't remember his name, but I think
6'3" kid, averaged 30 a game in his career.
Yeah.
Coach, you played at Mississippi State, and then Sanford. You got a chance to see the big school, the SEC, all the way to Sanford to the smaller 1AA. Uh-huh. What was it like playing 2 years at Mississippi State? We talked about the SEC, but you said that the most impressive gym obviously was Rupp Arena, but you said Arkansas was the loudest.
Yeah, as a player, just that experience playing at Arkansas. I mean, the fans were they're into it. They were rowdy, and that as a player, that was probably the most intimidating environment to play in. Rupp was it wasn't as loud, but it was just, it was euphoric just playing in Rupp Arena as a player. But, it was great experiences as a player. I never saw myself becoming a coach. I saw myself being in business and doing different things. But, I look back now on those experiences. They've helped me so much in forming the type of coach that I am today.
Before we take a break, I want to brag on Coach Derrick Jones. He was a 12-year assistant college basketball. UNO, Louisiana Tech, Vanderbilt, Stephen F. Austin, and also coached high school basketball at John Ehret, where he trained a 6'11 center who went to Georgetown,
Greg
Monroe, and you coached Damian Jones from Scotlandville, a 6'11 7-footer at Vandy.
Yeah.
You coached the bigs at Vandy.
I coached the bigs, and now I got a team full of guards.
We're going to be back with more of Coach Derrick Jones. We're going to have a video at the end of the show in segment 3 on his team. We got a video of his semifinals, the finals, celebrating at the end his team, winning the state championship. When we come back, we're going to talk some basketball. We're going to talk about his team when we come back. And his son's on that team, Nico Jones, a name to remember. We'll be right back.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
Welcome back. Lee Burkeen with the Sports Scouting Report podcast. Tell everybody, if you're a basketball fan or a football fan or a baseball fan or whatever you're a fan of, go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button for free. It helps us grow. And if you're over 40 years old, like me and Coach, when you hit the subscribe button, nothing bad's going to happen. It's a free button to subscribe. Hit that, help us out, and go to wherever you get your podcast. We're on Podbean. If you're in the podcast world, or go wherever you get it. Go to Twitter, and you can Twitter me at Lee Burkeen if you want to write a nice message, or if you want to say, hey man, we want to see this or that. Just write to me, and you can write to me at Lee Burkeen on Twitter. But again, we're at Mike's Johnson's, the Giulio's Italian Brothers restaurant here on Perkins Road. Got more of Coach Derrick Jones, Catholic High's basketball coach. Catholic High's first year was 1894.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to the men's group at Catholic High. I went as a guest. Chris Blair was speaking. Coach, you were there.
Yep.
I was able to talk to you a little bit.
Yep.
Have you had better barbecue than the men's group at Catholic High?
It's hard. I can't say that I have. It was some good stuff.
When they say take a to-go box, you say, yeah. I want to thank Daryl Uso, the president of the men's club at Catholic High, for the invite. Appreciate you, Daryl. Daryl Uso does a good job. That whole group. Coach, they had, 200 people there that night? Almost 200?
Yeah, I'd say, 150, 200, something like that.
Good little group.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm going to tell you, that cafeteria and the new facilities at Catholic, the new weight room with Bruce, it's unbelievable.
State of the art. The job the school that I went to, Catholic High, is that's
shell to that.
It's shell. It's awesome to see the growth and and a lot of the contributions have been from alumni. So it's great to see like our alumni pouring back into our school and making it better. Yeah.
I want to tell you, if you give you a chance to promote, you're going to have tryouts. Not that you're looking for 10 players, but maybe 1 or 2 players. But tell everybody the date for tryouts at Catholic High.
For our JV and varsity tryouts are going to be May 11th and 12th, coming up in about a month or so. For guys that we may have missed on this past year, we just don't want to miss on any guys. We were talking earlier about had a kid grow 4 inches, and we don't want to miss on any of those guys. Right. So make sure if we have any 6'7", 6'8" kids, my staff and I want to make sure that we give them a chance.
If you're 6'10" and you moved into Catholic, let Coach know you're in the school.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right? Well, I think you'll find him real quick.
Absolutely.
It'd be good to get a 6'10" kid.
It would be.
Get you an Irvin Johnson maybe, or
yeah.
Tyrus Thomas or something.
No doubt.
Speaking of late growths, before we talk about your team, Coach, Tyrus Thomas grew 5 inches after he signed with LSU.
Yep.
From McKinley.
Sure did. Yeah.
First round pick.
Yep.
6'10".
Yep.
Final Four team with John Brady at LSU. Irvin Johnson quit playing basketball at Block High School as a sophomore, bagging groceries in Baton Rouge. Grew 8 inches after high school.
Yep.
Tim Floyd.
I know
Gets
he
a scholarship.
wasn't a Louisiana guy, but Scottie Pippen, they tell a story. He was 6'2". He goes to Central Arkansas, grows 6 inches, becomes Scottie Pippen. Yeah.
Central Arkansas, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Out of all places.
Yep.
Michael Jordan went to UNC, but
Yeah.
people forget it. What's the deal with Pippen and Jordan fighting?
I don't know. I don't
what's
get
all
that.
that?
I don't get that. I guess just ego. I mean, you get older and you forget, all the good times, I guess.
Man, they won so many championships together.
Yeah.
Changing back to Catholic High's basketball team, Coach, I want to mention some of your starters coming back. Tate McCurry, Dylan Gifford, Matthew Trahan, your son Nico Jones, or the core coming back. And you lost, graduating this year, guys like Connor Green, Dennis Hebert, Stan Levy, William Sterling, guys that were with you. So you got a mix coming back, but you're very high on Tate. You said as a shooter, he's a 25 guy in class, 6'2".
6'2".
You think he's got a chance to be a good player?
Got a chance to be a really good, but already is a really good player.
Yeah.
He's already he might, he's been our leading scorer as a freshman and as a sophomore. If he wasn't our leading scorer last year, he missed it by, a point or so, a tenth of a point. I don't know. I can't think back at Catholic High to a player that's come in and been that productive as a freshman and as a sophomore on a varsity level. And, he's a kid that he loves the game. He works. He puts the time in. He's just going to continue to improve and get better. Anytime we say, we have a lot of voluntary workouts, and Tate's always the first one there. So even though he's had the success, he's still hungry to prove himself and to elevate his game.
He's a 2, which he can put up the points. And what I like, field goals, he was 58.4% last year. That's almost 60%.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he can score it on all 3 levels. He can shoot the 3. He's got a good mid-range game, and he can get to the basket as well. And he's a good athlete. He'll surprise you with his athleticism.
Over 81% as a free throw shooter, too.
Yeah, he's the one that made the two free throws to put us up 3 late in the championship game. It's a big difference being up 2 with 7 seconds left and being up 3. So
you can't lose it at 3.
No doubt.
And then you've got guys like Gifford, Brady Broussard coming back. Jacob Bradford, hopefully he'll be back from the football team.
Yep.
Him and his brother are great football guys.
Yep.
And then your son Nico. Nico's a point guard that is overcome an injury, you told me.
Yeah.
You're 6'5".
Yep.
He's 6'2". He's got a couple of years to catch you.
Yeah. I hope he does. If he catches me, he's going to be a really, really good player. He's comparing myself to him at the same age. He's light years ahead of where I was, but kind of the game has evolved so much. So many coaches now put so much more of an emphasis on skill development, and players spend so much more time in the gym on their individual games than they did when we played, that the game has evolved in a lot of ways. And he's a better shooter than I was as a sophomore. He's a better ball handler than I was. He's a better athlete than I was as a sophomore. But I got to be 6'4", 6'5", and we'll see if he does.
And what's exciting is Nico came back from injury, only played in 7 games last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have your son the whole season this year.
Absolutely.
Stay healthy.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have a video that Coach gave us on the semifinals all the way to the finals toward the end and winning the state championship. We're also going to talk some NBA and history of Louisiana basketball guys that went to the NBA since the 50s. Bob Pettit, all the great ones that came out of the state. I mentioned Robert Parrish earlier, out of Woodlawn of Shreveport. But we're going to get into some heavy Baton Rouge history with basketball talent that'll blow Coach's mind even. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life.
Welcome back. Lee Burkeen, your host of the Sports Scouting Report podcast. We've got Derrick Jones, the head basketball coach at Catholic High Baton Rouge, state champions in 2022, the first for the school, which is a great accomplishment. We've got a video that Coach gave us to show it's the semifinals all the way to the finals, and at the end of it, it's celebrating the state championship. But, Coach, while we're rolling the film, talk about how these games shaped out for you and what it was like winning these key games to get the championship at the end.
You always, as a coach, and the way I've been kind of raised in the game, you put a lot of emphasis on, the seniors. You give them a lot of leeway, but you also require a lot of them. And our seniors really, really played well down the stretch. We have some young guys that are really talented, but Connor Green was outstanding. He got the most outstanding player of the championship game. He didn't even start the game. Came off the bench for us. Dennis Abear was unbelievable the last month, 6 weeks of the season on both sides of the ball. He never really played point guard before. He was always because he could shoot the ball so well. He's always played off the ball. Was great. Not only handling the ball, but making good decisions, getting guys shots and scoring it when he needed to. Stan Levy was tougher than tough. I mean, he guarded the other team's best player every night out, made big plays for us offensively when we needed him to. And then Will Sterling is a kid that had a tough year. He started off great, had a game-winning shot at Port Allen High. That was their first loss of the season, and then he gets mono. Comes back from mono after 2 or 3 weeks and rolls his ankle, so he's out another week. So, just put him in that game late. He made some big plays for us, scored a big layup late, got fouled, and made the free throws to help us. So our seniors really, really were huge in that championship game, and so proud of them and what they've gone through. And I don't know if any of them will play college basketball. Dennis Abear is getting some interest from smaller schools. But I don't know if this may be it for them. But to go out the way they went out is
the trophy too.
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, they can for the rest of their lives. These kids can say we were state champions. The first time ever at Catholic High in Class 5A basketball.
Yeah.
Coach, to turn our attention, I want to get into some basketball talk with you.
Okay.
And I want to mention this too. There's not a lot of tradition on guys that have signed D1 scholarships from Catholic.
Yeah.
Your son coming up and Tate are going to break that mold pretty soon. You were one of them when you went to Mississippi State. I want to throw some names out. Kevin Carey at UNO, Tolliver Freeman with the St. Joseph's, Kentrell Garnett, ULL, still there, doing great.
Walked on at UL and has earned a scholarship and is a starter at UL on a team that went to the tournament this past year.
Aaron LeBlanc, ULL.
Yep.
2009 class of Catholic High. Corey Richard, Southeastern.
Yep.
2008 class of Catholic High. Jonathan Pixley, Sanford, who's a coach, and Kevin Baptiste, Alcorn State. You told me.
Class of '92. Yep, those two guys. And
right
then
before you.
Yeah, I was class of '96. So we don't have a rich tradition of sending guys to the Division I level. Yeah, never had a guy from Catholic High make it to the NBA. We haven't yet. So we're hoping to change that. We're hoping to really build not only a history of winning championships, but helping guys get to the next level of their athletic career and hopefully beyond.
Speaking of Baton Rouge basketball talent, let's talk a little history, Coach. I wrote down the other night guys that I remember playing ball. It started with Frank Bryan at Zachary High School in the 40s. Yeah. He was the first NBA guy from Baton Rouge.
Wow.
Played at LSU, was a 6'2 guard. And then let's go by school. When I was growing up, Redemptress was the team. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole team was D1. Yeah. They had Howard Hossie Carter that made all SEC. First round pick of the Nuggets. He could shoot the three better than anybody at that time. And then you had Derrick Taylor, who was a point guard. Phenomenal player. And then you had Tom Curry, who was 7 foot tall at Redemptress. Yeah. Can you imagine? They all played together as teammates, Coach, at Redemptress. Wow. Zachary's had some great ones. Tim Breaux, I mentioned Frank Bryan. Tim Breaux went NBA after junior college. My buddy Chris Wallace drafted him for the Celtics.
Oh, wow.
And Tim was 6'7" with a 46 vertical.
Wow.
Coach had just throwing these names out. Southern lad Bobby Fields. The late Bobby Fields was great.
Yep.
Southern University, played in the NBA many years. Sandoval. Fess Irvin was averaging 48 a game when I was in high school.
Yeah.
He had 50-plus point games all year long, it
Yeah.
seemed, with LSU. Didn't have a great college career, but was a great high school basketball phenom. We can go on Gerald Martin, Madison Prep, Liddell Eccles, Broadmoor, John Williams, Tulane, 7 foot tall, Sandoval, Cantrell, Gransbury, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge, went to South Florida, LSU. Bob Pettit was one of the first great ones. Baby Davis, U-High. U-High had a few. Coach Skylar Hayes, who's lighting it up right now in the NBA.
Yeah, he's doing. Scott, yeah, Mays is doing really well. He was with the Hawks right now.
He was traded from the Hawks to he's with another former, the Rockets.
Rockets, that's right.
Yeah, he's with one of the other LSU players there. And then Don Chaney, McKinley High School had a run of players. Don Chaney was the head coach of the Houston Rockets back in the 80s. He went to Houston University, was an All-American, went to McKinley. Keith Smart beat LSU with a three-pointer at Indiana. McKinley. Tyrus Thomas, McKinley. Damian Jones, your guy at Vandy, Scotlandville. Javante Smart, Scotlandville. Tasman Mitchell, Denham Springs, LSU. Brandon Sampson, Madison Prep, LSU. NBA, Garrett Temple, College Temple, both U-High. Marcus Thornton, to me, was phenomenal at Terra.
He was.
LSU.
He was, yeah.
Beat Rupp Arena, Kentucky by himself with 38 in a game on the road. Lester Earl, the greatest Glen Oaks player ever.
One of the best high school players I've ever seen.
6'9".
Yeah.
Kansas, LSU, we all know the story. Tommy Green, McKinley, Southern, basketball coach at the Baton Rouge Community College. Reese Beckman, currently Scotlandville, Virginia.
Yeah.
Got a chance
to play in the NBA. A lot of
Brian Bridgewater, Scotlandville, LSU. Oliver Brown, U-High. Darnell Lazar, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge. Coach, this is
you missed Jacob Evans, St. Michael a few years ago, played in the NBA.
This is just Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, yeah.
I mean, we didn't get them all, but I mean, that's a lot of talent.
Yeah, a lot of rich tradition, and a lot of times the talent here gets overlooked by college coaches, not only in the state but across the nation, and guys kind of slip through the cracks. Another one, Langston Galloway.
Went to
St. Joe's and is still playing pro ball.
Christian Life when he went to high school.
Yeah, Christian Life.
It's no longer around.
Yep.
And then I can't leave this name out. Ethan Martin.
Yeah.
Was a 5'10", 5'9" point guard at LSU. The greatest, one of my favorite players ever. Went to Lehigh. He was in the 80s.
All right, nice.
Final Four team, Dale Brown.
Yeah.
And then the state coach, you look at Randy Livingston, who you're big on as a coach.
Yeah.
You said he's got a great AAU program. Went to Newman.
Yep.
If he doesn't break his knee up,
he's
probably a 20-year guy in the NBA.
Yeah, he was ranked ahead of Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a class ahead of him, and he was ranked ahead of him as a junior.
Joe Dumars went to Natchitoches Central, had a great career with the Detroit Pistons. Carl Malone went to Summerfield, one of the greatest ever at Louisiana Tech. Elvin Hayes, Rayville guy, Houston. Willis Reed, Lincoln Parish guy, went to Westside. They don't even have a school anymore. He was a Hall of Famer in the NBA. Grambling College. Stromal Swift, Fair Park. Avery Johnson, St. Aug.
Yep.
Robert Williams, currently with the Celtics, North Caddo, 6'9". Andrew Toney was one of my favorites, went to USL. Now, he didn't go to Louisiana High School. He was from Birmingham, Alabama. But Andrew Toney was a teammate of Barkley when they didn't win it all. What's up with the 76ers? They can't win
I don't know.
They can't win the big one.
Get over the hump.
And then I can go on and on. I mean, we talk about Irvin Johnson and two guys, North Louisiana. Paul Millsap went to Grambling High School Tech, played forever in the NBA. Randy White, Huntington High School in Shreveport, was a favorite of mine at Louisiana Tech. Coach, appreciate you and what you do for basketball. The state championship, you got a young team still. I hope you pick up a 6'9" transfer or an enrollee.
Yeah.
And any final thoughts to the people watching?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk basketball. It's as time goes on, it's become not only what I do, but a huge part of my life. I love the game. I love pouring into young kids and teaching them everything I know. And you know, you love to just watch a young guy just fall in love with the game and become just become obsessed with it like I am. Obviously there are more things to life than sports, but I think when you do it right and you do it the right way, sports can really teach you how to maneuver and get through life and get through some of the adverse times that inevitably you're going to face as you get older. So I appreciate you having me, and I love talking basketball. I really love talking Baton Rouge and Louisiana basketball with you. And again, thank you for letting me be here.
That's Derrick Jones, the head basketball coach at Catholic High Baton Rouge. They're going to try and go deep again. You can't promise a state title every year, but man, he's really on his way as a young coach. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Derrick Jones. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see everybody really soon.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Burkeen.